This is a story of four hungry and thirsty souls from the Midwest in search of food and drink in northern Spain. Our first order of business was to shake off the cobwebs for the flight over and await the arrival of Jim and Kathy from France. We took several walking tours of Barcelona. Here is Casa Mila, one of Gaudi's last buildings. With a check of directions and other pertinent data, we are off to the city market. It is, after all, about food and drink. We continue our walk along the Boulevard La Rambla from the city market towards the Barcelona World Trade Center where the cruise liners dock.
That's gotta be hot.
The next day, we took a taxi ride to Carmel Hill to see Parc Güell, designed by Antoni Gaudí and built between 1900 and 1914. It was to be a designed living community, but never caught on. On Monday, we picked up our car and headed west to the Rioja wine country and our contemporary Hotel Vieira in the town of Villabuena. That night, we had a tasting menu at the hotel. Sorry, but no pictures were taken. You'll just have to settle for the menu. The next day, we headed to the wineries. First appointment was Luis Cañas, where Carmen provided our tour. Our next winery was the Marques de Riscal, with its adjoining hotel designed by the famous architect Frank Gehry. The next day, it was off to the Atlantic coast in the town of San Sebastian. One of our first activities in San Sebastian was to experience a menu degustation at the 3 Michelin Star restaurant of Martin Berasategui. Here we have lightly marinated warm oysters with iced cucumber slush and K5 wine and spicy apple. Vegetable hard salad with seafood, cream of lettuce, and iodized juice. Green and black olives with beef, caper, and mustard. The truffle with fermented wild mushrooms, collard greens, and alma de Jerez oil. Red mullet with edible scale crystals, fennel with saffron, and liquid baby squid bonbon. Young pigeon charcoal roasted at low temperature with potato and truffle bites and forgotten vegetables. chocolate rock on salted quinoa, rum slush, and hazelnut ice cream. The next afternoon, we were taken by our tour guide Escarne to a choco, which is a Basque closed gastronomical society, which traditionally, until recently, was closed to women. It is a place where people come together to cook, experiment with recipes, and socialize. Our chef and host is Julio.
He's making now. ¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Un revuelto de hongos?
Revuelto de hongos.
It's like scrambled eggs with wild mushrooms. Okay.
Y luego, mira qué he preparado.
And then we have
Un bacalao
a cod
con un semipilpil,
with a pilpil, which is very slowly cooked. Okay.
con unas patatitas,
With potatoes,
salsa americana y crema de guisante.
American sauce, and green peas.
Crema de marisco y guisante.
Okay. Perfect.
Y luego de postre,
And then for dessert,
un melocotón asado
like a peach
con helado.
with ice cream.
Oh.
Salud.
Espera, voy a coger
Yeah, he's gonna take some of it.
Is it okay?
Oh, perfect. I love the fact that you're gonna have so many curing photos.
The next day, we headed down the coast with Escarne to the town of Citaria, where we visited the Gazantia Winery, where they make a slightly effervescent wine called chocolat. And of course, we stopped for pintxos.
Aucescava.
Se la habla inglés, in Italian, in English and in French, but he doesn't speak any other language.
The next day, we were on our own and drove a short 45 minutes up the coast toward France to the Basque coastal border town of Hondarribia. After just one night at the castle, we backtracked a little to the industrial town of Bilbao, Jim and Kathy's last city in Spain. This was also the city where we took a cooking class in the preparation of pintxos and partook in yet another menu degustation.
You take tequila, and you know, if tequila is good, probably other things are going to be good.
I think it's a matter of presentation as well. I think it's like to leave the whole sirloin there.
I don't know.
You have the touch.
Okay.
Yo soy un pescador.
There you go.
Not even in not even trainees. There's always a first time.
Yeah. It's good though.
When you prepare 1 million,
Yeah, and then you become a master.
Yeah.
The hidden.
Got it.
you
How many hours did you have that there?
It depends. Depends, but in 1 hour I see it. And when I open and it's red in the middle, I click it. But only in the middle. But have you tasted?
Yeah, it's not.
Where are we to put?
We call them, well, we
One
actually call
actually.
them in Basque, we call them piparra, which is
One
actually
piparra, that is this one.
piparra, guindillas. You say in Spanish, you say guindillas. So there's an
Do
area
you think
piparra.
that is important? Okay, so
The next afternoon, we walked over to the one Michelin Star restaurant at Shinobi for yet another menu degustation.
This is a
That's pretty.
This is better than.
Next morning, we took a guided bike tour of Bilbao. Before we dropped Jim and Kathy off at the airport, we continued on to Zaragoza. The next day, we loaded up for Barcelona, our departure city back to the US. Just to mix things up a bit, we had Indian food for our last meal in Spain.